Hi again. Here we are for lesson 2 on Pythagorean triples. So I thought I'd find a picture for you of Pythagorean because I'm sure you're dying to know what he looked like. He lived from about 580 BC to 500 BC, so he's about 80 years old when he died. And he's the most famous for the theorem we talked about in the last lesson about the lengths of the sides in right-angled triangles. But he's also known for his triples. So what are these? The Pythagorean triples are sets of three numbers which follow this a squared plus b squared equals c squared rule. That is the rule for the right triangle that we learned in the last lesson. So here's what we're trying to investigate. We're going to find out as many Pythagorean triples as we can based on the information you're going to learn, and we can find a way to actually generate them without having to go through a lot of steps. So here's the first three that you can commit to memory, or just the three easier ones that I know of. Oopsies. And the first one is 3, 4, 5. So when I say a triple, it means three numbers. The second one's 5, 12, 13. And the third one I put as 7, 24, 25. There's some in between those, but I just started with three different ones with kind of different amount of numbers here, or increment size of numbers. So here's what we do with these. Okay, the 3, the 4, and the 5 are all represented here. Sorry for my red ink, but it's all I could find to work today. So instead of going the a squared plus b squared equals c squared route, I'm actually going to go back to the last page because I can write on there without ruining the next slide. Okay, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We could plug it in like we did in the previous lesson. We can prove it whether it equals out or not. 9 plus 16 equals 25. It does indeed. So this is definitely a right triangle based on the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so what they did on the next screen was they took the first number, I'm going to use this one. They squared it, and then they added the next two numbers. So 12 plus 13 is 25. 5 squared is 25. And because these two are the same, we know it's going to be that right triangle. All right. Now, normally they're written in lowest or least to greatest order, in ascending order. Perhaps if it was written like this, let's go the other way, 25, 24, 7. You have to realize it isn't the first number of the series, it's the lowest number you square, and then you add the other two numbers together. So 24 plus 25 does indeed equal 49. The two are equal, so this is for sure a right triangle. Okay, so this is all going to come forward here on the next pages. So here we have 3 squared, 4 plus 5 is 9, the two equal out. The next one I just did, it was on the last page, 5 squared is 25, 12 and 13 were the other numbers, they equaled out. And then one I actually did, 7 squared was 49, 25, 24 equaled 49, and that's how we knew. So for the odd number triples, odd number meaning there's 3 of them, they don't have to be actual odd numbers within them. We square the small number, that's, remember I said, instead of the first number, it's a small number. Hopefully they're not going to trick you in your assignments and rearrange them, but they might. And half that answer rounding up and down to give the other two numbers in the triple. Okay? And we can get the next triple by doubling the first one. So if you double 3, 4, 5 to 6, 8, 10, it'll prove to be a Pythagorean triple and also a right triangle. So that's pretty much the lesson. I added a few fun facts that really have nothing to do with anything that you learned today. But the 5, 12, 13, and 6, 8, 10 triangles, they're the only two of the Pythagorean triangles whose areas are equal to their perimeters. So just a fun fact. And another one is the 3, 4, 5 triangle is the only one whose sides are consecutive whole numbers and whose perimeter doubles its area. Okay, really don't apply to what we learned here, Might come up later and you'll remember these facts, or maybe you won't. Anyhow, that's it for this quick lesson. I have an assignment that shouldn't take you too long, and then I'll catch you in the next lesson.